Hello, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Andrew, and I really enjoy cooking. One of the things I find most enjoyable about cooking is trying to improve, trying to find ways to do the things that I'm doing a little bit better. One of the best ways I found to do that is to see what other people are doing and find out why it is that they do the things that they do with food. So in this series, a group of us get together to all make different dishes using one specific ingredient and then compare notes. It could be a go-to dish. It could be something we've never made before but want to challenge ourselves. It could be a snack. The point is to share things that we're interested in and then discuss it. Maybe we'll learn something, but that part I can't guarantee. So in this video, Alvin, Ingo, Rie, and I all made different dishes using chili oil. Hey everybody.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi.
Hello.
And welcome, Rie. It's your first time on the on this series.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So we've all made our dishes using chili oil. We've all also used different chili oils depending on our own personal preferences or whatever was important to our dishes. None of us know what each other made. Adam has compiled the footage for us to watch, and we're gonna start with Alvin.
All right, so for my recipe, I made a cold noodle cucumber salad with Spam. Yeah.
Ooh, that is a nice
All right.
shot of Spam.
This is not actually Spam. This is premium gourmet lunch meat I got from a Asian grocery store. I'm toasting it in a pan. I cut it into these matchstick, almost like fries. I like getting them nice and crispy because there's enough fat in the Spam. So I definitely ate about like half of these as I was doing it. After the Spam comes out, I actually add water. I don't want to lose that flavor. And I cook some ramen.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't add any seasoning to it, but the ramen actually takes on the salt and the nice oils and the flavors from the meat. So I really like to have that flavor. And as you can see, I'm having a very tough time, Yeah, I'm already struggling as usual for this series. But one thing about the ramen is that I'm not actually eating it hot or in soup. I like to treat it as if it were a cold noodle. So I'm rinsing it in cold water, taking out all of the starch because I think that gives it a better bounce.
老干妈.
And yeah, this is the chili oil. I like lao gan ma, but I
Iconic.
specifically like iconic. She looks like my grandma. And I like to use the lao gan ma that has the fermented soybeans in it. So there's chili oil with the nice peppers and the stuff. I like to pick the one that adds like the black bean for that extra punch of savoriness. And that's just the way I like to eat it because I actually don't like eating too many spicy things. But somehow with this, it makes it tolerable. And I like to get more of the black beans instead of the oil, so you can see me just digging at the bottom for all the really good flavors and stuff
Really
like
going
that.
in there.
And I like to add honey for some sweetness,
Ooh, yes,
some
yes.
rice vinegar, and the ramen packet seasoning. So making sure, I think it makes sense to put it in here, add so much extra flavor to this sauce. And I like it because there's acidity, there is sweetness, there's, who knows what kind of flavors are from ramen, but they're really good.
Wait, Alvin, is this
And-
something you do often? How did you come up with this?
Yeah, where's this recipe from?
So this dish is actually something my mom used to make me when I was a kid. I added a little more to it. Her thing would be making 凉拌黄瓜, which in Chinese translates to sort of cold prepared cucumbers, which is traditionally cucumbers that are smashed with the back of a knife to absorb the cracks with the sauce and the stuff and garlic. She made it a little too spicy, but she used to add Spam or ham or whatever sort of meat that we had in the house, and sometimes we would add noodles, and it kind of became a meal in itself that I almost like love to eat the whole dish of because it's so good and you just kept wanting to eat it. So I'm cutting the cucumber in little matchsticks. I actually like cutting it at a diagonal because it makes them a little bit longer. This is a trick my mom taught me when she used to cut it. So instead of cutting it straight on, I kind of go at a diagonal because it gets you these really nice oblong sort of sharp matchsticks as you can see. And this is sort of the fun part, I think it just makes for it, adding in the noodles, adding in the sauce, the Spam. Okay, so the trick to this recipe, the sauce is so concentrated. It's super spicy, it's super sweet, vinegary. It's like a power bomb of all the flavors that I like. The moment you start mixing it with the cucumbers, it pulls water from the cucumbers, and the water from the cucumbers turns it into a sauce that coats everything.
I also want to say this ratio of like meat and vegetable to noodles is very interesting because it's like 2-2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love vegetables, I love meat, I love carbs a little less than the other two, so this represents the way I like to eat.
Especially with the shape of the cucumber and the Spam, it's almost like the noodle is a dressing for those two things when you're picking it up rather than the other way around.
Yes, and the noodles are actually there not only for flavor, but as the dish sits and as you eat it, more and more water starts to come out. So the noodles almost act like a nice flavor and liquid absorber. You don't get a puddle of sauce when you're done eating it.
Very nice.
Hey, so Inga, you're next.
What did I make? Okay. Sorry, because it's like, okay, so I made tofu ice cream drizzled with chili oil and sugared peanuts.
What?
That's what I made.
What?
Wait, hold on.
Y'all, this is going to
Tofu
be insane.
ice
It's going to be...
How did you come up with that?
So, good question, Ria. So it's actually because chili oil and ice cream is like a huge thing right now in China, especially. Like they actually have like
Wow.
McDonald's in China is selling chili oil on ice cream. Like it's
Wow.
a thing,
Hey.
right? Isn't it crazy?
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
So that kind of is what inspired me. I was like, oh, that's so interesting. But I was like, okay, how do I kind of make it more fun? So that was like the candied peanuts. And then I made a tofu ice cream because you know how we have soy milk and soy, what do you call it, 豆花, which is like soy milk pudding. And
Yes.
which is like from soybeans, right? So I was like, okay, so what? And soybeans, there's like savory 豆花, which is served with chili oil. So I was like, oh, maybe tofu ice cream would be good with this as long as I make it kind of sweet. So that's kind of my thought process for that. So I got some tofu. I got some really, really nice tofu. Actually, it's from a place in Chinatown called Fang'an. Actually, I think Elvin, you did a video with them on tofu, right?
Yeah, I was just about to say, I shot their tofu pudding and their tofu.
I really like, because it's like a family-run tofu shop, and they have really good quality tofu. You can go watch the video. It's great. So I used the tofu there. It has like a rich tofu flavor. I added some milk powder because I hear that like it gives it some more flavor. Added some whole milk. Then I blended it up to make it into this creamy tofu-ish liquid milk in my little saucepan with some sugar and some condensed milk, again for texture and flavor and sweetness. I'm also kind of just like experimenting a little bit as I go. This is now when I added in that like tofu mixture you saw earlier. Once we combine it, it was just a process of cooking it down a little bit, making sure that the sugar is melted. It's also very scary because soy, like this mixture, can burn so easily. I splashed some on my stovetop and it's still there. I try to scrub it and it's so hard to clean. Anyways, look at that. Lovely.
Wow.
So I added in some heavy cream just to, again, add to its creaminess, kind of like, making ice cream, and just mixing that together. And I let it cool a little bit. I actually tried to strain it when it was hot and it did not work. It just went straight through the strainer. That's why I had to let it cool. Once the tofu mixture is a little bit cool, you can see that now I can really run it through a sieve. It's a lot smoother now. And then this is the thing that I just popped in the fridge.
So did you already have the knowledge of how to make this ice cream?
I do not have any knowledge in making tofu ice cream. I've been experimenting with making ice cream a lot more because I have an ice cream machine at home. So it was kind of just like reading up different recipes and seeing like, oh, for example, adding condensed milk adds to its texture, adding milk powder adds to its flavor of like vanilla ice cream, something like that. So it was kind of me trying to piece it all together and seeing if it worked. Then while that was chilling a little bit, I made the sugar peanuts. So in Chinese, we call this either 糖霜花生 or 雪花生, which is like snow, ice. First step is to roast the peanuts. So I just did that in the oven as opposed to deep frying it for health. This is the part where I started getting that sugar water mixture ready. So we're not actually trying to make it into caramel. You have to be very careful for the sugar not to turn brown. Pretty much just cooking it down a little bit. Once you see the bubbles, that's when you add in the peanut. And the thing is, you just have to keep stirring it and overheat until it starts forming this like whitish coating.
Ooh.
You see?
Wow, what the?
Yeah, so when you make caramel, it's opposite of you should do when you're making caramel, because you
Exactly.
shouldn't start because it's crystallized.
Yeah, it's super cool, right? The opposite of that and the different effect it has.
Yeah.
Do you know what this reminds me of? In New York, there's these street vendors that sell sugar glazed
Yes.
nuts, and this is exactly how they do it, where they get the crystals. I've tried to make it. I've never succeeded, so I'm just very jealous at you doing
Really?
this. Yes.
Oh, well, this
Oh,
is
that's
my
funny.
first time doing it, so I was just really happy that I just sounded like I was bragging, didn't I?
Of course. First time, of course.
So basically, while it's still hot, you want to spread it out and let it cool down. Right now, there's not as much white on top, like the coating hasn't perfectly formed yet, so you need to rest it, let it cool. There was snow outside, so it was great.
Your
Very
window is cracked open.
Yay!
I'm just imagining a bird flying up to that window and like some
Oh my
nuts.
god, can you imagine? Anyway, so same day, I think a couple hours later, it was nighttime at this point, so the lighting is all different too. That's when I pulled the mixture out from the fridge and I put it in my ice cream maker, and you can see it slowly forming shape here.
Wow.
I just got like a pint-sized container and filled it up with my soft tofu
Yeah.
rice. Honestly, it's ready to eat at this point.
I like how you just have a pint-sized ice cream container just ready
Yeah, I
to
was
put
gonna
ice cream
say.
in.
All right, I bought it.
It's
I
super
bought it so I
professional.
could make ice cream. Once that was in there, ice cream, just wanted to wait for it to harden. Honestly, I could have served it the day before as like soft serve, but next day, day 2. So I have the candied peanuts at the bottom, and I scooped, what do you call it? There's a term for it, the ice cream.
Quenelle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a quenelle.
Quenelle.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to explain my reasoning for doing the quenelle. It was not my original intention, is because the first time I pulled the ice cream out and I tried to scoop it, I already put it in hot water. I couldn't scoop it at all, so I had to go in with 2 really hot spoons, and like, it's not because I was trying to make it look really nice. It really just was because I had no choice. Yeah, so tofu ice cream over sugar peanuts. And then I used 2 different chili oils. Well, the first one is Sea Daddy, which is made by our friend Eric, who helped me in the last video. I really like it because it's inspired by Taiwanese barbecue sauce called sa cha jiang. So it has a little bit of that flavor. It also has like mala notes, whereas the Sichuan chili crisp is from Fly by Jing. This one has a lot more fire, a lot more heat, which I really like. These are the 2 that I use the most at home. So I decided to go with both of these. Just drizzling it over the ice cream.
Oh my god.
It's a bit
Wow.
much, isn't it? Yeah.
This looks like some fine dining. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, whoa, hold up.
that?
Excuse me.
So I had some edible flowers in my fridge. I swear I did not buy them for this video. I bought them for something else. I just wanted to, I wanted to eat pancakes and make them look pretty. So I bought edible flowers. They kind of dried up. So I was like, oh, I should do something with this. And then I crushed some peanuts. So it's crushed peanuts and edible flower petals sprinkled on top. Yeah, because I think the quenelle thing really was just like, all right, since I'm already down the fancy dining route, let's just go full out.
Man, it looks incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How
How
Thank you.
did it taste?
Yeah.
It tasted, all right,
Wow.
so it tasted very confusing. This is the truth. The peanuts were great. I think just the ice cream and the peanuts was very good. I think I could have worked on the tofu ice cream a little bit more. I think I wanted it to have like an even creamier consistency. I think I would have taken out the milk powder, but the flavor was okay. And the chili oil though, since that's the theme of the video, right? I think it's like the chili oil when I first had that bite, because there was like a lot of sweetness going on. I didn't really feel the chili oil, but it's like after you have it, you swallow that bite, you feel the heat slowly rising up. But then because you still have that, like, I guess like the cream coating your mouth or the sugar, it kind of dies back down again. I had a lot of fun with this one. I was also kind of worried that people would be like, what are you doing? But it was good. I think Rie's up next.
So I made chilled chicken salad with cucumber and tomato. Maybe like Alvin and Inga knows Chinese dish called saliva chicken.
Yeah.
Yes! Oh my god, it's one of my
Portion.
favorite dishes!
It's so
But
good. It's so
Andrew,
good.
also you had it in Japan when we did a ramen episode for Wose.
Yeah, I've had it elsewhere as well.
Oh, okay. I know that saliva chicken is from China, but in Japan, I think like they kind of do something similar. And also I use this chili oil, so it's not authentic saliva chicken, but I used cooking technique that people use for saliva chicken. So first, when you cook, I use chicken breast. You add scallion and ginger. And the important part is you add cold water and sake before you turning on. So, you know, like chicken breasts tend to get super dry, but if you do that way, you can get very, do you say moist? Succulent?
Yeah, I like moist.
Succulent.
Succulent chicken breast. And once it's boiled, you put the lid on top and leave it. And
Oh,
then you are
interesting.
going to put it in a refrigerator with everything in it. If you take it out, chicken will dry out. So you have to chill in the cooking liquid. And this is the chili oil I used. It's not my preference. This is the only chili oil you can find in Japanese grocery store. This kind of chili oil is very popular in Japan.
Whoa.
Oh, it looks really good though.
And it's not too spicy. And as you can see on the jar, it says mild.
Yeah.
I like spicy food. I feel like in Japan, in general, we don't have a lot of spicy food. Like a lot of like traditional food that has like spicy. So I eat this chili oil just like top on rice or like cabbage or lettuce and toss it and eat it. But for this recipe, so I think it has 2 tablespoons. I used soy sauce and rice vinegar. What did I put? Sesame oil.
Is there sugar? Is there any sugar?
Yes. Did I add sugar already?
There it
You're
is.
adding sugar.
There it is.
Because I add soy sauce and vinegar, I wanted to make a little bit harmonized. So I put a little bit sugar and just like mix everything. And I'm gonna just taste it. And if there is something missing, I'm gonna add more. I taste it and it was good, so it's ready to go. This recipe, I usually make it for summer. I found a nice heirloom tomato, just like sliced tomato, thinly cut scallions. When I was cooking chicken earlier, I use green part to cook and I use white part for like condiments.
Oh, interesting. So those are the
Yeah.
same onions.
Oh, yeah. That's genius.
Oh, thank you. 'Cause, when you cook something, like when you use leek, you kind of do the same. You use green part for like stock and
Right.
you use white part for like cooking. So it kind of same mindset. And I'm cutting cucumber same as Alvin. I cut diagonal.
Oh, yes.
I feel like is it just me, but I feel like that's how we all cut it. Is that an
Oh.
Asian household thing? I don't know.
Andrew, how do you cut cucumber? You told me. No Asian here.
Well, I mean, normally if I'm cutting cucumber, it's for a salad and it's in larger chunks. So it's more like a half moon perpendicular to the cucumber.
Okay. And this is a chicken, kind of thinly sliced. So, as you can see, I only cooked, to the boil and cover with the lid and leave it for 30 minutes, but it's completely cooked through and it's very soft and succulent.
So about how long did you boil it for?
Oh, you don't boil too long. You just like, when the liquid came to a boil, you turn it off.
Oh, so very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. Yeah, this dish, like you don't season chicken because like you are cooking in a, liquid. And also you're gonna eat with like very flavorful, flavor-packed sauce. So you don't need to season the chicken. Just put tomato on the bottom. Usually people eat with bean sprouts. And again, my closest grocery store doesn't have bean sprouts. So I just use cucumber, put the chicken and scallions. And I also forgot to add
the chef.
sesame seeds when I
I
was
was gonna
shooting.
say, where did those sesame seeds come from?
It just magically appeared.
So right before I was like pouring, I forgot sesame seeds and I added the sesame seeds. I also got watercress for the topping and cilantro for the topping, but I totally forgot it was there. So I recommend you guys use cilantro if you like it, and watercress would be nice.
Did it make you salivate?
I'm salivating
Yeah,
right
so-
now.
Same.
This is delicious, like especially if it's like hot outside.
Looks very refreshing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very refreshing dish. So I made this recipe for Tasty Japan, but I didn't use chili oil. If you go to tasty.com, search spicy chicken salad, you can find it.
Andrew, are you our anchor?
So My recipe is something that I've actually made for Rie before.
Whoa.
It's a favorite snack of mine, which is a peanut butter and pickle
Oh my
sandwich
god, here we go.
with chili oil on top. That's
Oh
right.
my God.
And I want to emphasize that for me, this is like a snack food to make when I'm kind of in the mood for something bigger than a small snack, but it's not quite like dinner time yet. And it really is meant to just utilize things that are already hanging around. I've made this sandwich with all sorts of different kinds of bread, but it's usually just whatever is left over around the house. I had a baguette, so I'm going with a baguette this time. And the baguette also, I think, with the hard crust top and bottom is good for capturing this kind of saucy situation that ends up on the sandwich. So I toasted this in my oven because I don't have a toaster oven. I just turned on my broiler and I put it in a big pan and let it get crispy.
Nice.
And this is important for a particular reason, which I'll get to in a second. So these are the pickles I used. I think dill pickles are the way to go. I don't really like bread and
beautiful.
butter.
Whoa.
So-
look at those.
Whoa.
I'm a big fan of pickles. I usually have
is
them
a
in my refrigerator. So like I said, it's something that I have on hand. And
Wait,
then,
look at how fresh that is.
Yeah.
yeah.
I bet it was super crunchy. It looks so crunchy.
Yeah, it was pretty crunchy. So I'll usually cut the pickle to match the shape of the bread that it's going on. Matchstick tends to work well because I want the peanut butter to kind of move around the pickles, if you know what I mean.
If you know,
You know what I mean? Like I want the
do I
peanut
know
butter
what I
to
mean?
integrate with the pickle.
Wait, go back 1 second. You did show us how you cut cucumbers, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
but
going to
not
say, right? It's the
diagonal.
same.
So maybe.
Oh, Andrew does go straight across. I see. Not that it's bad. It's very interesting to see how everybody cuts cucumber.
This is actually a
objects.
cucumber video.
Yeah. It is actually a cucumber video.
I should have put cucumber on my ice cream. Dang it.
The thing that's actually important about toasting the bread is that it gets warm so that when you put the peanut butter on the bread, you know, it gets a little loose.
yeah.
It like, the heat from the bread will make the peanut butter a little bit more
Melty.
liquidy. So then I usually put some peanut butter on, I smush the bread together to kind of like distribute it, warm it up a little bit so it's a little more liquidy. Then I put my pickles on. Usually it's less than one pickle, so off camera I'm just shoving the spare pickle into my mouth.
It's a lot of pickles.
And then I put a little bit more peanut butter on top and then just kind of smash everything together to kind of get things integrated. And then this is the chili oil I've been using. This is called Boon sauce. We actually had this on Worth It.
Yeah.
And Boon I like a lot because it's pretty spicy. It's also very savory tasting to me.
Whoa.
I was just going to ask, what style is it? Like, is it Chinese inspired, Thai?
I think it's Chinese inspired. The chef has worked in a lot of fine dining restaurants, and this was his sort of home recipe for himself that was augmented to be a little bit spicier than stuff that he had been used to getting. He wanted the flavor to be applicable to a lot of different scenarios. So like when we did the video with him, he was saying, oh, I put this on chicken salad, I put it on pizza with mayonnaise. To my taste, the thing that I notice a lot when I eat it is that there's a lot of fennel seed flavor.
Oh, interesting.
And the combination of that with the oil and the pepper really reminds me of like an Italian sausage, oddly enough. But in general, I think it's just a very savory taste. And so I think on this peanut butter and pickle sandwich, that extra savory note helps balance out the other two components. Peanut butter, I think, is really commonly associated with jelly, but peanuts are really often used in savory applications. And to me, that's what it's doing in this sandwich. It's a fast sandwich in that I have pickles, I have peanut butter, but it's also very satisfying because it's like a big mouthful. It tastes savory and acidic. And with the chili oil, it just kind of like marries those two things together a little bit more. Peanut butter and pickle might sound strange next to each other, but if you think about it more like, oh, I'm gonna have like a savory peanutty sauce that gets created when the peanut butter melts a little bit and you have the, you know, savory and spicy notes from the chili oil. And then the pickle is really just crunchiness and acidity. To me, it really works. It's super tasty, and I don't know, it tastes like something that's way more savory and full flavored than I would otherwise be able to create in just a couple of minutes as a snack.
I want to eat that so bad. Also, can I just say this is the most beautifully shot little sandwich I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Okay, I have to admit, I was very skeptical in the beginning when you were like peanut butter pickle. But as you were describing the flavor profiles, it reminds me of the cold noodles we have in Taiwan because it's like a carb, and then you have the cucumbers, and then there's usually some type of vinegar sauce-ish, which is kind of like pickled cucumbers, and then we have a sesame sauce, which is like your peanut butter. So I feel like it sounds exactly like that. Maybe that's why it works, right? And the chili oil, of course.
I like it a lot.
I tried
Awesome.
it. I tried
What
it
did-
without chili oil, and it was really good.
Yeah. I used to put hot sauce on it, but
Yeah.
I think chili oil works a little bit better because the pickle is already acidic, and hot sauce, tends to provide a little bit more vinegar taste as well. So I think chili oil helps add more kind of like savoriness and also a little bit more texture.
I feel like we should just get together and add all of our dishes together and eat them.
Yeah, like if you had a slice of grilled Spam on this sandwich, oh. Okay, so we had Alvin's noodles, we had Inca's ice cream, Rie's salad, my sandwich. That was very fun. If you have a chili oil that you want to talk about or an interesting way that you use chili oil, please let us know. We'd love to hear about it. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Did anybody learn anything?
I learned that you could put pickles and peanut butter in sandwich and it tastes good.
I learned that you could put chili oil on ice cream and it tastes good. Ooh, maybe I should make a peanut butter ice cream sandwich.